As a policy advocate, understanding the policy-making process is important in your policy advocacy journey. In this video, you will learn and understand the policy-making process. The policy-making process is where policies are developed, enacted, implemented, and evaluated. In more detail, the policy-making process refers to the process by which issues facing society are defined as public problems, warranting the attention of policymakers and worthy of scarce public resources for the implementation of projects and programs to address these problems. All over the world, societies are faced with a varied number of problems, from poverty, hunger, weak education systems, poor healthcare systems, violence against persons, crime, inadequate infrastructure to climate change. The scale of these problems require creative interventions, and delivering on these quality public services is one of the primary functions of government. To bridge these gaps and create the desired change, governments create policies to address these problems. We would look at how these policies are created and implemented for the greater good of the public with the policy-making process. The policy-making process includes problem identification, agenda setting, policy formulation, policy adoption, policy implementation, policy monitoring, and evaluation. Let's look at the first stage in the policy-making process: problem identification. This is the stage where human needs, deprivation, or dissatisfaction must be identified as a public problem. Not all problems require the attention of the government. If enough people believe the nature of the problem is such that the government should respond to it, then it becomes a public problem rather than a private problem. Agenda setting is the second stage of the policy-making process. Agenda setting is the process by which problems identified as public problems gain or lose public and policymakers' attention. Agenda setting is all about gaining attention in anticipation of action on a problem in the society that people think should be done. To understand agenda setting in detail, let's take a look at what an agenda is. An agenda is a list of prioritized public problems to which the government tries to create solutions to in the form of policies, and then translating those policies into actions by implementing different projects and programs. From there, we have policy formation, which is the stage where policymakers take up an issue. They create legislative, regulatory, or programmatic strategies to address the problem. The next stage is policy adoption. This is the stage where policymakers formally adopt a policy solution. After that, the policy implementation. This is when government agencies begin to make a policy work by establishing procedures, writing guidelines, or issuing grants to other government agencies to carry out projects or programs. Policy monitoring and evaluation. At this stage, the policy implementation is assessed to ascertain if a policy is addressing the issue it originally set out to solve.